Are you getting married and you want to get married in Jackson Hole, Wyoming? Today, I am talking with Sami of Magnolia Ranch Events, and we are going to cover her kind of top 5 picks for wedding venues, summer wedding venues in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. All right, Sami, what's number 1?
I'm going to start with Snake River Ranch because it is right on the village road, which means easy access for guests and families to be accessible at the village or in town. It's easy to get to. It's not a haul to get out to the location. There's a few spots that we love at Snake River Ranch, and if you have a few minutes, their Wikipedia page is actually like a fascinating read about the history and the family involved in how the ranch came together. One favorite spot that they have available for weddings is called Giltner Lot. And this location is on the Mountain Hole Resort side of the road. It has a beautiful ceremony location that has full Teton views. And then you go through like an aspens that are like growing over and you like go through this little tunnel of trees to get to the reception site. It opens up to this beautiful meadow where your tent is waiting. It's open. It's nestled in the mountains all the way around. It's just an iconic, classic Jackson Hole location. Another spot that they have that we also love to work at is Johnson 40. It's on the opposite side of the road, but very similar proximity to the Tetons. Again, the ceremony is beautiful Teton views. This spot is cool because it is lined the entire ceremony. You're within an aspen grove, and then you walk over a bridge around next to a creek, and then it opens up to your reception site with your tent, and they have a little water feature they've recently added, and of course the giant Teton views. Another spot that they have that we love, especially for like a rehearsal dinner that's like a little bit nestled into the mountains. It doesn't have the same big views, but they have the sweetest little old barn that is on the property. It's not a barn that you like host your event inside of necessarily, but it is just part of the ambiance included with the facility, and it just has a very cozy and special feel.
So those are the locations there.
That's
so
Snake River Ranch.
Locations, close to town.
And they have more locations as well. Those are just my favorite ones. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is Moose Creek Ranch. Moose Creek is a magical spot that we love north of town. It's about 40-minute drive, so you would want to bus everybody out there. The mountains are just huge. You are so far out. It's right up to the park. The mountains are enormous. Moose Creek Ranch has a few locations that they're able to do the ceremony. They have cabins on property that they host, like family reunions, dude ranch kind of vibes where people go out on horses during the day and stay in the cabins. And so they have a season that they do that. And then at the end of that season, so it's the end of summer, early fall, they host weddings, and they're able to accommodate the bridal party and families to get ready and stay in the cabins during, not stay overnight, but like to prepare for the wedding day so that you have a place to get ready. And that makes it really nice for the party because then you're not running all over.
Yeah. So if a couple doesn't want to stay downtown Jackson and then make the commute in the wedding dress and everything, they can just get ready there with their wedding party. So hair and makeup would meet out there. Everything would meet out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
And then that makes it nice because it's one location for ceremony, getting ready, and the reception.
And tell me, is Moose Creek Ranch where the Bison? That was Moose Creek, right?
It's Moose Creek.
Tell me about
that.
So
let's hear this story. A few years ago, we had girls up on ladders doing a floral installation, and out of the blue, a herd of bison came thundering through the grassy area between the water feature and the tent, and they just barreled through. None of them went into the tent, thankfully, but all of the glasses on the table were rattling. It was right before guests were supposed to arrive. The girls are on ladders just hanging on for dear life because the bison were just this crazy experience. And I think that is something that adds to the magic of Jackson Hole, is like it's still the Wild West here. Like, you don't know what is going to happen. So that makes it kind of exciting.
So pretty much if a couple wants to have an elegant wedding, but still be exposed to the Wild West, the Tetons, they can have that in Jackson.
Exactly. This is your spot. Okay,
that was 2. What's 3?
Yep. 3 is Lost Creek Ranch. Lost Creek is not quite as far as Moosehead, but it's across the highway from the Ansel Adams pullout with his iconic shot of the Tetons. And so it has that same epic view The Meadow is beautiful. The views cannot be beat. It's just a really special place.
And how close is that to Jackson?
Probably 35 minutes north of town.
Okay.
It's before you get to Moosehead.
So that was 3. Now, technically we're doing 5, but these 2 you're calling your hidden gems.
Okay, so...
As in they're not as known. Like, they can maybe get left off a list.
Yes, I feel like these 2 don't get the credit that they deserve, perhaps.
Yeah.
The first one I'm going to say is Bentwood Inn. This is a great spot because it is right at the turn to the village road. It's next to Stilson Lot. Again, it's a very close location to town or the village. It has the ability for you to rent out the inn itself. And so the bridesmaids and bridal party can stay there. The family can stay there. There's rooms to stay in and get ready in and that kind of thing. It has a really fun like bed and breakfast feel through the rest of your stay. And then it has this beautiful backyard. There are not Teton views here, but it does have just these gorgeous trees. You're like nestled within a forest and it's really a special feel. One time when we were setting up there, it was in the fall. It was foggy. Fog was hanging low. It was a cold morning. And there was a giant elk just chilling in the trees, just watching us with his huge rack. And he's just watching us set up and we're like, are we safe? Is this fine? So there's just always the unknown things watching us set up our events.
So now we're on to our last and final one.
Last hidden gem is Turpin Meadow Ranch. This is way north of town. It's past Moosehead Ranch. So it's a solid hour from town. They have a lot of accommodations available. My husband and I went this year for our anniversary. It's just like fireplaces in every room, Pendleton blankets. It's just a cozy Western vibe. The cabins are original. I think they were built in like the 20s. And when they did this remodel in the last few years, they like picked the cabins up, put new foundations down, set them down, added on these luxury bathrooms. It's just a beautiful accommodations. The food is incredible. They have a beautiful lodge. It's a great spot if you have a smaller group. And if you have a bigger group, they do have a great meadow. Go figure with the name. And it has incredible views of Mount Moran that you can have a tent set up outside. So it still has the accommodations for a big tent. It's nice when there's some infrastructure in place, like restrooms and power and things like that, that some of these other ranch weddings, you have to bring all of that in. So this is a nice option for that reason.
Perfect. So there are 3 main venues, 2 hidden gems. There are a ton more options in Wyoming, but hopefully that wets your whistle as you're trying to think, like, do I want to get married in Jackson? What does it have to offer? Does it have what I'm looking for? If you're curious to learn more about getting married in Jackson, then you need to start with a wedding planner, and Sami would be a perfect resource for you. And if you're thinking about hiring a wedding videographer, my name's Craig. I run Watertown Films, and we film weddings. So with that being said, thank you so much, Sami, and we'll see you guys all in the next video.